Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I will call this meeting to order at 6:30. And this is the meeting of the public meeting of the City of Soledad Joint City Council, Successor Agency Housing Authority, and Successor Housing Agency Special Meeting of Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. So thank you again for all the members of the public that are joining us via Zoom or Facebook today. Your participation is really critical to our to the public participation engagement for the city. So just reiterating a couple of items of how you can join today's meeting and make public comments. You can join us via Zoom. The meeting ID is located on the agenda, which is 869-5537-4510. Or you can also join us by telephone calling 1-669-900-6833. And just again, as a reminder, we are moving toward a new technology, and these council meetings are recorded live on our YouTube channel. This is more efficient for technology. So just note that comments made here will not be recorded as part of the record. So please make sure that you're aware of that. And if you want to make a public comment, if you can join us here also on the Zoom, join the Zoom account. And this meeting, again, do we have a Spanish translator? Only in-house. Okay. So we have a Spanish translator in-house in case anyone needs Spanish translations. So with that, if we can get a roll call, please.
Mayor Ana Velasquez.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Maria Corlejo.
Here.
Councilmember Fernando Cabrera.
Here.
Councilmember Fernando Ansaldo Sanchez.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to our next item on the agenda, which is public comments on closed session items. At this time, any member of the public may address the council on the closed session items appearing on the agenda. Speakers do have 3 minutes. Please be brief and to the point. So I'm just going to open it up to those that are here in our chambers. It doesn't look like there was anyone but our staff members here. So I will take it out to those that are joining us via Zoom to see if there's any members of the public that wish to make any comments. Okay, and I don't see anyone on Zoom, so I will close the public comment for closed session items. And at this time, then we will move into our closed session. We do have one closed session, so the council will, we're going to open the meeting, then we're going to recess to closed session. We will reconvene the public meeting at 7 o'clock. For our other items of discussion. So we do have one item on our closed session. The City Council of the City of Soledad will recess to closed session to meet with its designated representatives regarding labor relations matters pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. The employee organizations are the Soledad Police Officers Association, SEIU Local 521 General Unit, and SEIU Local 521 Mid-Management Unit, and unrepresented employees. So at this time, we will recess to closed session and then reconvene the meeting at 7. Thank you. everyone for joining us again. We are reconvening from our closed session. And we now go into our next item, which is closed session reports. And I will turn this over to our city manager or to our city attorney.
Yeah, I think the city attorney is online.
I am on, yeah.
So I'll turn it over to our city attorney who is joining us online.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So yes, the record should just indicate that the council met with its labor negotiators in closed session with the associations that are listed on the agenda, which is the SBOA, SEIU Local 521, and SEIU Local 521 Mid-Management Unit, and provided some direction to its negotiators, and no other reportable action was taken.
Thank you. We'll move on to our next item, which is Pledge of Allegiance. If we can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Beatriz, will you do us the honor to initiate the pledge for us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have any additions or modifications to the agenda?
Not specific to the agenda, but I did want to note that the item on consent 68 has an addition with the whereas clause to indicate there are two things that to note on the resolution. One is just a change that amendment number 2 will expire. We had April 6th, but it's actually April 30th, 2024. And then the fifth whereas clause, that staff recommends that Harris Associates contract be amended to allow Harris to continue providing general engineering services for an additional period of 2 years to provide continuity in current projects. And so then this item would extend with the task order, would extend for 1 year and expire on 2025, April 30th, 2025.
Okay, thank you, Megan, for that. And I believe that's consistent with what's in the contract. correct?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so we will move on at this time to public comment. So any member of the public may address the city council on items not appearing on the agenda, but of items of interest to the public that are within the jurisdiction of the city council. The public does have 3 minutes to speak. If you can please be on point. We do have 3 minutes and we will be just exercising those 3 minutes. So at this time, are there any members of the public that are joining us in our chambers? Our chambers, there's no members of the public. It's our staff members. So I would take it out to those that are joining us via Zoom. If there's any members of the public joining us via Zoom that like to make a comment.
There.
Okay, and there is none. So we will close the public comment period. And we will move into our consent calendar. And for our consent calendar, we do have one item on the consent calendar, which is resolution number 6068, with the revisions of 4924 that were provided to us on the dais. And it's a resolution of the City Council of the City of Soledad approving task order number 2, amendment number 3 with Harrison Associates for the city engineering and staff augmentation services, and authorizing the city manager to execute said amendment on behalf of the City of Soledad. Included is a staff report of resolution and exhibit to amendment number 3. Number 2, amendment number 3. So at this time, I have any members of the public that wish to pull an item from the consent calendar? Okay, I don't see any hands raised out in Zoom. So I will ask the council if there's any members of the council that wish to pull an item from the consent calendar for additional comments or questions.
No.
Okay, seeing none, then I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Okay, again, have a motion on the floor. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any abstentions? Any oppositions? Okay, so motion carries unanimously. Thank you. So we'll move on to our next item on our agenda, which is our new business, we have one order of business today, and it's resolution number 6069. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Soledad approving a contract for construction services with David Construction and Management, Inc. in an amount of $749,685.13 plus a 5% contingency for a total not to exceed the amount of $787,169 for the Soledad Community Center Modernization Project, and authorizing the city manager to execute said contract on behalf of the City of Soledad. So I will turn this over to Alex for our report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and council members. As you guys mentioned, tonight's item is for the Soledad Community Center. As you guys may already know, it was constructed in 1993, and although there have been various repairs and many projects that have been conducted over the past couple of years, the facility really needs to undergo a modernization overhaul. Key improvements have been identified in the kitchen.
And Alex, I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. I'm not sure your microphone is on.
Oh,
Thank you, Megan. I was hearing him fine.
But yeah, mainly for the public, but.
And would you guys like me to respond?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, please,
So-
thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. So tonight's item, as you guys mentioned, is for the Soledad Community Center, which was originally constructed in 1993. Although there have been many repairs over the past couple of years, the facility really needs to undergo a modernization overhaul. Key improvements have been identified in the kitchen to be brought up to current city standards and county health codes. Also areas of interest where the gym and stage have been identified, as well as the overall facility to address items such as lighting, heating, cooling, and of course, accessibility to the overall facility. So with that being said, staff prepared and formally advertised through planning bids an RFP for qualified individual or firms for the community center building modernization project. We went and flew it in late February, and it had a close date of March 21st, 2024. We only received one bid from David Construction and Management in the amount of that $749,685. And although in the review process, we observed that the bid came in a little bit higher than the cost estimate. We observed this discrepancy across many city projects already and across other agencies within the state. And with that being said, we do therefore recommend the approval of a contract with David Construction and Management for the construction services of the base bid amount plus that 5% contingency for a total not to exceed amount of $787,169. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you for that report. Let me take it out to the public first, and then I'll bring it back to the council for any questions. So any member of the public that are joining us via Zoom would like to make a comment or has a question on item B-1. Okay, seeing none, then I'll bring it back for the council. And as we only have one item on the agenda, I'll open it up for council members if there's any questions first and then final comments. So, questions?
No, just one, so we only have one person bidding then,
Yes.
okay. Well, that's good.
Yes, through the chair, I also had one question, and I just, that stood out to me that we only had one bidder, so I guess my question is just what outreach do we do when we have, when we're looking for bids? What is the outreach that's done?
So typically when we send formal advertisements, we do it through our third-party website, planetbids.com.
Mhm.
There in that third-party website, it gives you the option to select, certain categories that, for example, engineering services, heavy construction services, items such as those where you select and it sends a wide advertisement to many of the local consulting firms or qualified individuals as such. Not only that, but we also reach out to some of the local folks here, send them notice inviting bids, and we also advertise in our local newspaper.
Thank you.
Alex, and as a follow-up to that, I know the Public Works Contract Code allows us to only, when we solicit,
Mhm.
if we only get one bid, we can still continue with the procurement process, correct?
Mhm.
Of engaging that. So just for the public, that even though it's just one bid, per the Public Works Contract Code, we can move forward with procurement. But if you can just, for the public's sake, I know you talked about that, there was an excess on the estimate, but that other cities and the state, that's what's happening. Can you just elaborate a little bit more for our public, just in terms of what are some of the causes of some of the increased costs to our public works projects?
So, as you folks may know, when we had, the COVID-19 pandemic hit, a lot of construction projects were put at a standstill. And for that reason, once we opened it back up, we were getting a lot of construction projects, and people have been busy trying to catch up since those couple of years. Not only that, but of course, we stopped receiving a lot of materials overseas, and there's been a backlog. We see a lot of long lead times with equipment that we try to order and things like that for our everyday maintenance stuff. Getting a pump isn't as easy as it was for that same reason. And just recently, when we awarded the courtyard modular, we even saw it in that project where the final bid came in a little bit higher than we anticipated. But that's, like I said, it's been observed not only here, but at other agencies across the state.
Thank you for that. And just my final comment on that. I know that this has ARPA dollars, so we have 240 days for the contract to be completed. So that takes us close to November. And so even if we have, we don't, I know that we have to retain the 5% contingency, but because we've already procured the funding, it won't impact our ARPA dollars. So I just wanted to make that clear, because I know that we obviously, the special meeting was to be able to ensure that we expend our ARPA dollars on a timely manner. And this project does take us to November, but since we've already procured those funding, then it won't impact the city. So just wanted to make sure that was clear for our public.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so council, if there's no additional comments for Alex or questions, then I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number 6069. Okay, I make a motion. Okay, so I have a motion on the floor. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, any abstentions? Okay, so motion carries. Thank you so much, Alex. I know you all have a lot of work to do on our public works projects, so thank you for that. And that was the only item those were the only items on our calendar for today. So with that, then I will adjourn the meeting at 7:13. Thank you, everyone.